The man in the sleek black limousine stared through the tinted window, unable to take his eyes off the little girl by the roadside. Her tattered dress clung to her like a whisper, her small hands busy arranging lemons on a worn-out cloth. The blazing sun beat down mercilessly, but her smile, fragile yet persistent, lit up her face like a dawn that refused to die. He whispered to his driver, "Stop here." The car pulled to the side. The girl looked up, startled but smiling. Neither of them knew it yet, but this single moment was about to change both their lives forever. In the dusty town of Hillrose, 12-year-old Amara became known as the Lemon Girl. Each day, she walked 3 miles with her baby brother strapped to her back and a basket of lemons in her arms. Her tiny legs ached. Her slippers had long since given up, but she still walked, driven by a fierce determination that was far too big for her small frame. Life hadn't always been this hard. Her father, once a cheerful mechanic, died in a tragic factory fire when Amara was just 9. Her mother, crushed by grief and sickness, slowly faded away into a silence Amara could never quite understand. By the time she turned 10, Amara had become the caretaker, the provider, and the only light in her baby brother Sammy's life. She found solace in selling lemons by the roadside. They weren't special lemons, just what grew wild behind their crumbling house. But she polished them carefully and arranged them with care. She waved at passing cars with a smile she didn't always feel. Few stopped. Fewer bought. But every coin she earned meant food for Sammy. And that was enough to keep her standing in the heat. One particular day, as Amara stood wiping sweat from her forehead, a young woman stepped out of a nearby gas station. She wore a crisp blazer and carried herself like someone who owned time and comfort. She bought 2 lemons and paused, observing Amara. "You're here every day," she said softly. "Yes, ma'am," Amara replied with pride. "Do you go to school?" Amara looked away. "Not now. Maybe later. My brother needs milk more than I need books." The woman hesitated, then dug into her purse. She handed Amara a business card. "My name's Natalie. I work with a charity for children. Come see us if you ever need help." Amara took the card, but didn't believe it would change anything. People said kind things all the time, but life had taught her that kind words didn't buy medicine or bread. Still, she folded the card and hid it in her pocket. A week later, tragedy struck. A torrential rain swept through Hillrose. Amara and Sammy's small house, already weakened by time, began to leak and crack. The roof caved in over the kitchen, and the last of their savings was washed away in the flood that ran through their home. Sammy fell sick. Coughing day and night, he became weaker. Amara ran door to door looking for help, but the local clinic had closed due to lack of funds. Desperate and broken, Amara remembered the business card. She made the long walk to town, barefoot, soaked, and clutching Sammy close to her chest. When she arrived at the charity office, she collapsed at the doorstep. Natalie found her there, freezing and shivering with a burning child in her arms. Natalie didn't hesitate. She rushed them both to a hospital. Sammy was diagnosed with pneumonia. Had they arrived a day later, the doctor said, it could have been fatal. Natalie arranged for them to stay in a temporary shelter. For the first time in years, Amara slept on a clean bed and ate a full meal. But even in this small safety, guilt and fear gnawed at her. She had been independent. She had been strong. Now she was someone else's burden. Natalie saw the struggle in her eyes. She sat beside Amara one evening and said, "You're not a burden. You're a fighter. You've carried a child through hell on your shoulders. You just need someone to carry you for a while." Amara cried that night, not because she was weak, but because someone finally saw how strong she had tried to be. As Sammy grew stronger, so did Amara's resolve. With Natalie's help, she enrolled in school. But she didn't stop there. She started selling lemons again, but this time differently. She learned how to make lemonade. She learned how to keep accounts. She even gave her little stand a name, Sammy's Sunshine. Natalie helped her build a small cart. Local shopkeepers donated cups, ice, and sugar. Tourists began stopping. Amara's story spread online. People from across the state visited to buy lemonade from the brave girl who once sold fruit by the roadside to save her brother. Within a year, she saved enough to rent a small home and open a tiny shop. She hired other kids from the shelter to help her. She was just 13. 3 years later, a black limousine rolled into Hillrose. Amara, now 15, stood behind the counter of her bustling cafe, serving fresh lemon tarts and lemonade with her brother Sammy, healthy and strong, running between tables. The car stopped in front of her store. Out stepped a tall man in a tailored suit with silver hair and a presence that made people pause. He looked at Amara for a long moment. "You may not remember me," he said. "But 3 years ago, I passed by a girl selling lemons in the heat. I never stopped thinking about her." Amara blinked. "That was me." The man smiled. "My name is Marcus Holloway. I'm the CEO of a national restaurant chain. I want to partner with you, to sell your lemonade across the country. Not just because it tastes great, but because the world needs your story." Today, Sammy's Sunshine is a national brand. Each bottle of lemonade tells Amara's story, of hardship, of hope, and of a girl who stood in the sun to protect her baby brother. Amara never stopped working. She built schools in Hillrose. She gave jobs to children like her. She never forgot the feeling of being unseen, unheard. And in every factory that bottles her lemonade, a quote is printed on the label. "Even when the world turns away, stand in the sun. Someone will see your light." That little girl by the road, forgotten by most, became a symbol of resilience. And it all began the day a limousine finally stopped. Ends with reconnection to Hook. Back to that moment, the man in the limousine, the girl in rags. He stepped out not just to buy a lemon, but to change the course of a life.